Thank you for staying with us. This morning, we are still talking about accountability in government and leadership in general. And we've been talking about Serap, Socio-Economic Rights Accountability Project, has urged the governors of 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT minister, to give full disclosure of details of how they spent FARC allocations accrued to them as a result of removal of fuel subsidy. And we still have with us Mr. Kola Uluwadari, Deputy Director, Serap. Thank you, Mr. Kola, for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, just before we went on that break, I was asking you a question, and I said, you have called on the EFCC and the ICPC to get involved in this. And the question is this: do you really think that the EFCC and ICPC in Nigeria are truly independent? Because if they are independent, they should be able to go after these governors, the states, local governments, and different government agencies to do their job without being invited or being sent by Mr. President to witch hunt or probe anyone. That's the question.
Yes, I do believe that these institutions are independent. But of course, there is some level of dissatisfaction if one monitors what is going on in the public space about the way they've gone about their duties. But this does not invalidate the various laws that set them up and the nature of the work that they are supposed to do and they've done over time. So what would be the alternative to having these anti-corruption agencies do their work? We cannot allow the things that have happened to some of the accountability institutions that didn't make them work also affect these institutions, which is why we need to engage them. For instance, the CCB, the Code of Conduct Bureau, is and still is, by the way, by the constitutional framework that set it up, would have been a very good accountability mechanisms to stop moral practices. But the things that would have passed the CCB, then the EFCC and the ICPC can take it up. And at the least, these anti-corruption agencies should ask questions and look at the books of the state governors and ask them very important questions. How have they spent these funds? Have they used all those funds, for instance, for security votes? Did they construct roads? Have those roads been what's the level of completion of the infrastructure? For a lot of the responsibility of the governors, really a lot is not being done.
But Mr. Dari, yeah, Mr. Dari, sorry to cut in rather. In this same Nigeria, we've seen a politician, telling Nigerians that they should join this party, that once they join this party, their sins will be forgiven. So how effective really are these anti-graft agencies if some people can just decamp, just join a particular party and their sins are forgiven?
Unfortunately, I don't know why that particular politician said that. We don't do politics.
Well, he said it, and it's in public space, and it's public knowledge to every Nigerian. And we've seen politicians who have had cases of corruption. For instance, let me even start with Delta State. They say charity begins at home. Delta State former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who had a case to answer before EFCC. Then all of a sudden, he joins the APC and the whole matter dies down. This has happened over and over again. We have different governors, different former governors in Nigeria who've experienced the same thing. All they have to do is to join the ruling party. So what if the ruling party is actually shielding them from being prosecuted?
It's quite possible, and it's sad. It erodes the functionality, if not the functionality, at least the perception of these anti-corruption agencies, which is where I think the ICPC and the FCC particularly needs to step up and ensure that to use the popular judicial maxim that justice is not only done, but it is seen to have been done. I think the SCC and the ICP needs to do a lot of work to change that public perception that they are truly independent by ensuring that these kind of statements, and which I do agree with you has been supported by facts, do not erode the public confidence in the ICPC and the FCC. As for Serap as an institution, we still have confidence in these agencies' ability to do their work.
All right. Now, as we round off with in the next few minutes, I just like some updates, for you to just give us where you are, because you had some high-profile cases, both on anti-corruption and accountability, and then freedom of expression and human rights. You have so many. I'll just ask you three and ask you what's going on with that. In July 2025, that was like 4 months ago, you filed a suit at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice and with several co-plaintiffs, where you sue the federal government, challenging the government's failure to publish the forensic audit report of the NDDC and alleged mismanagement of 6 trillion naira. That's one. Then in June 2025, you sue the NNPCL over its failure to account for an alleged missing 500 billion naira. And 3, the issue of cybercrime law in January 2025, where you sue the federal government and state governors at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice over the alleged misuse of the Cyber Crimes Amendment Act 2024. Where are we on those 3 cases at least?
Yeah, those cases are still pending hearing at the ECOWAS court, unfortunately. And those are some of the challenges we face in our legal advocacy. The slow pace of administration of justice as it affects national courts also appears to happen in the regional courts. And you would understand the kind of frustration this would have brought to an average Nigerian, but we are not deterred. We'll continue to do that.
Even the cyber crime law thing of January 2025 is still yet to be heard?
Yes, it's yet to be heard as I speak.
All right.
Unfortunately, this wasn't at the ECOWAS court as a regional court. The fast track mechanisms before now, but I can understand actually to giving the burden, the influx of cases at the ECOWAS court. Unfortunately, these are some of the consequences of slow pace of administration of justice.
We want to thank you, Kolawole Oluwadari, Deputy Director of Serap, for your time and you take this morning, and we wish you, Serap, and in fact, Nigeria, all the best. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. We take a quick break right now. When we return today, yesterday rather, no, today is World Architecture Day and World Habitat Day as well. And there are things that we need to know, things to learn, to know, and to make our ecosystem better, and the issues in the architecture space in Nigeria. What is the need for the public good, in fact, as far as these days are being, this day rather, 2 instances being commemorated on this day. Stay with us.